right, it's 5 Minute Friday, and this episode is how to get busy, important, rich, famous people to respond to your emails when you reach out to them. And I realized after sending a single email to Jim Rogers, and he quickly responded and came on the podcast. And this guy is a multimillionaire or billionaire. He's always on TV, and I know he's really busy. So I was kind of astounded and really impressed with his generosity that he would respond so quickly, personally, and come on the show. But this is not unique. I'm able to quickly get some of the most amazing adventurers, entrepreneurs, people that have a lot on their plate already to come on the podcast or give me some advice about something. And if you are thinking of reaching out to these types of people, to influencers, to people that could give you opportunities to help your career, or that could be a guest on your own podcast or YouTube channel, or give you some key piece of advice, it's important to think about how we reach out to those people. So here's a quick episode about what I've learned about cold contacting or connecting for the first time with someone who's quite busy and important that you don't really know. So ideally, you've gotten an introduction from a friend. That's going to smooth the way by far and make everything way easier for you, because that builds your rapport. You have this shared connection. So get an introduction if you can. But a lot of these people, you don't have an introduction, or it's a very circuitous route to get an introduction to someone who then can give you an introduction. And you are excited. You want to just reach out to them right away. So I'm going to be talking about my own perspective here, getting people on podcasts, but you can apply this to pretty much anything you want. So first, I start with a list, a dream list. Who do I want to interview? Who do I want to have on the podcast? Who would I really love to learn from? Who do I think would be a great fit for the Art of Adventure, for you, the audience? And then I am going to batch all of these reaching out to people. So I'm going to compile a list of their email, their Twitter, Instagram, things like that, different ways that I can reach out to them, so that when I'm ready to sit down and get in touch with several of these people, then I have all that right in front of me. And I've also done my homework. So I might have learned about these people by seeing them on an interview, or reading their book, or reading an article about them. And I'll go ahead and I'll compile the background that I believe that I need to know enough about their work to know that they would be a good guest on the show. So I'll read their about page on their website. I'll read a couple articles about them or by them. I'll go to their Twitter profile and I'll check out what are they tweeting about these days. Over the last month, what are the topics that they've been tweeting about, so I can understand perhaps what they are thinking about most of these times, most of the days, and what they're excited about and what they would really love to share if they were to come on the podcast. Basically thinking about what would motivate them to donate their time to come on the show and teach something to the audience. I'm also looking for any possible shared interest or ways of connecting in addition to a relationship that might help me build rapport. Because when I send them an email, step one has to be very, very short. I don't know about you, but when I get a long email that has a ton of words, I'm probably going to just glaze over and not read to the end. And I have no idea what someone is asking for me or pitching me or offering me. So 3 to 5 sentences, ideally 3 sentences, is all it's going to be in an email. And they're each going to be their own individual paragraph, so that visually it's nice and easy for them to read, and they can quickly see who you are. So in the first sentence, you're going to be establishing who you are, your connection to them, how you found them. Someone recommended that you have them on your podcast, or that you thought they would be the right person to answer this one question you have, or you would like them to speak. Oops, getting ahead of myself. So first sentence, you're building the connection. Second, and building some credibility. Like, I'm a host of this show, and we've had many amazing guests like yourself already on the show. Here's, maybe you hyperlink to your podcast if they feel like referencing that for credibility. Then you're going to be telling them, first you establish that credibility, then you're going to be telling them why you are getting in touch with them, what your ask is. So for me, I would say, I would love to interview you on the show about X, Y, and Z. Pick some area of their expertise that I know would fit really well with my audience. So if it's an entrepreneur or an adventurer, I'll say, some specific part of their trip or starting their business that I really want to get a good story about for you. And then finally, the third sentence can simply be asking them, would you be interested in doing this? And basically, you want it to be as easy for them to reply, yes, I would be interested. You're not trying to sort out all the details of when you're going to record something or when they're going to come to your event or any further. That can be sorted out in the follow-up, or they might copy in their assistant to book you in on the calendar, all of these things. But basically, you just want them to pre-commit. So psychologically, they said, yeah, it sounds like something I'm interested in doing. So they're going to just hit one-word reply, yes, boom. Then the chain of events gets started for you guys to actually hop on the phone, or for them to actually, review your book or introduce you to someone else, or whatever it is, the actual opportunity that you're looking for from them. That gets sorted out later. So the first email is simply about building that connection, letting them know you understand them and their life, and asking then what you would like them to do and if they're interested, and then getting a yes back. And that starts the chain of events that allows you to have someone like Jem Rogers onto your podcast. And a word about follow-up. I get lots of emails, and I know my friends get even more emails than I do. And a lot of times we have every intention of responding, and something more pressing is happening when we see that email, so we don't respond. So if you don't get a response from someone, if you reach out and don't get a response, it doesn't mean that they don't want to help you. It doesn't mean that they're not interested in responding. It just means that they couldn't respond right then. So following up is actually a polite thing to do. You can follow up 2, 3, 4 times, and if you're still not getting anything, then you might want to leave it. But you can basically follow up until they tell you, no, please stop emailing me, or please don't contact me, or something like that, because people are really busy. And if it's a good opportunity, if you've done your homework, if you know that this is something either they like to give back by going on podcasts like yours, or speaking at events like yours, or helping people like you, what their motivations are, if you know it's a good fit, your audience matches theirs, etc., then keep going. And if you have several people that you love to connect with, some of them might be faster than others. Some of them might be away on vacation for a month. So don't give up. Make sure you follow up. Some people will respond much more quickly than others. But if there's someone that you really, really want to get on your show, then it might actually take a long time. It might actually take a year or more of trying different ways of reaching them. But sometimes you have amazing luck with a simple, cold email, and people do respond. It's pretty remarkable. So good luck. Would love to hear any success stories. If you're inspired to reach out to guests or mentors or collaborators after listening to this, would love to hear how you did that and what's working for you. And that's all for today's episode. So until next time, go out there and be adventurous.